plot, plan, strategize, and organize, and mobilize, and organize in an effective way.
What's up, man?
Oh my God.
All right. Welcome to Success Never Rest. Got Joe Fulce with us today. Plano grad, Marquette grad, former college coach, current trainer, coach, and video production, right?
Little bit of everything, man.
All right. So we're going to get started today. Success Never Rest is on your worst day be good, on your best day be great, and on every other day get better. I've known Joe since he was in 7th grade. He probably doesn't remember me, but I remember watching Joe as a 7th, 8th grader in the Plano, little summer leagues. Saw him come up through high school, watched him win a state championship. So I think we made some trips to South Dallas when you were in high school to watch some basketball.
Yep.
So anyway, we go back a while. Glad to have you with me today. I wanted to start off by asking, just about your youth. Who were some of your early influences? I know you got a love for competing, whatever it may be, basketball, and then just life in general. So who were some of those early influences on you?
Man, when I was coming up, my first cousin, he was very blessed and fortunate to, instill the game, I guess, from a visual side at a young age before I really even wanted to play. By going to his games and whatnot. He played for the Fab Five. He's one of the members of the Fab Five, Jimmy King. So I remember when I was at a young age going to NCAA tournament games and just knowing we had a game. I'm not knowing the amount of impact that he's bringing to basketball with that crew and just at that time with how college basketball was flowing. So being able to be in those locker rooms and just the aura of the tournaments and the games and him hanging out with me, going in the back shooting and stuff like that when I was younger, that type of stuff was cool. So if anything, that was one of the biggest influences on me as a kid, being able to say like, yo, man, like I like this basketball stuff. It's cool, so.
I had a relationship. My cousin obviously wasn't Jimmy King or on the Fab Five, but I also had a cousin that was older than me that influenced me because I saw him as a high school basketball player and kind of the perks and things that and made me want to get better as well. So if you didn't catch that, Jimmy King with the Fab Five, Joe's uncle or cousin?
He's my first cousin on my dad's side.
So played at Plano East. Joe went to the rival Plano Senior High. I know two of the three coaches you came up playing for. I know in high school you played for Tom Inman, good friend of mine. Buzz Williams, I actually worked one of my first basketball camps in Texas for him at UTA when he was an assistant. So I go back a long time with Coach Williams as well. Both are what I would call no-nonsense type of guys. I know them to have a system, have a way they're going to do things, and they're going to fit you into that system. So how did that influence your coaching style, the way you train players, and then even in your role as, a player relation coordinator? How did these guys influence your
How did
coaching
they influence
style?
me?
Like I know my high school coach, I didn't want to be anything like.
See, like Inman, Coach. Okay, so let's just break down the coach. So like Coach Inman, he was a player's coach. He knew X's and O's. He knew film. He knew stuff like that. Me personally, I don't think that was. It wasn't his best things that he was good at coaching. I think the best things he was good at coaching was being around the guys and being able to talk to them how he would want to be talked to if he were playing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think I took a lot of how he managed being around the players to being off the court and also when it comes to the guts of a game and you can't run a play and you just gotta just go off a feel and going off of what you remember and seeing and how your guys play. With Coach Williams, he's a very technical, detailed coach that there is a big balance between the no nonsense and I'm trying to be cool with you. He's also like a life coach as well. We had a like a life lessons, like a player team meeting on a Sunday, and it could go from 30 minutes to about 4 hours, and we would just talk about life. And we would talk about finances, or we would talk about certain things that would help you just be good as a person. Mm-hmm. And this is lessons for men and women. It don't matter, because sometimes he would have his daughters in there. He would have, it wasn't just for the guys. I don't know if that
answers my question.
really helped, but there's a lot of coaches and people along the way that kind of, helped me get into the player relations position I'm in now.
Yeah, well, I came up with a bunch of different coaches, obviously, and I just tried to take a little bit from each one, like you said, how I would react if they were my coach, if I would like that, and put that into my influence and style. And as long with what Coach Williams was saying, that goes along with my success never rests so much, because any chance I get to talk to young kids, I talk about be your best in every single moment, whether that's brushing your teeth at the first thing in the morning, or whether it's your routine when you go to bed at night. Do your best at it, because the next moment you got to be your best at might be a life or death instance. Right. It might be a game, winning shot or defense play, whatever. All right, this portion I want to, jump into kind of your career as a whole. I know you've dealt with a lot of adversity going all the way back to your high school days and through, Marquette. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, can you tell us that story? I know you were supposed to go to A&M. That didn't work out. Right. So, tell us your story there.
Long story short, as short as possible. So I was supposed to end up going to Texas A&M, sign my letter of intent with Coach Gillespie. Mm-hmm. Coach Williams was the assistant. I ended up going to a prep school. The only prep schools that were available at that time in 2007, 2006, it was pretty much on the East Coast, because a lot of the schools in the South were getting flagged for not being legitimate prep schools. Yes. So I went to Massanutten Military Academy. At Massanutten Military Academy, you had to do just as much as the work as the cadets, just as much as the basketball work that was required from me from the coaches. So that kind of put a little extra chip on my shoulder, I guess you would say, a little bit more organization in my life, and just a little bit more purpose as far as waking up every day being grateful for what you have and for what you do. At that time, I ended up signing at the University of New Orleans after I finished military school. The reason I signed at New Orleans, it wasn't because I wasn't getting recruited from other schools. I was getting recruited from a lot of different schools that actually wasn't recruiting me in high school. It was because of my loyalty to the people that had helped me get into the game and understand the business. Yeah. That person just so happened to be Buzz. So he was just finishing up his first year as a head coach at New Orleans. When I signed there, going into his second year, 8 weeks into me at New Orleans, he resigned. I wanted to figure out how in the hell am I going to get to the type of schools and play the caliber ball I want to play, if this type of stuff keeps happening. So I went ahead and was able to enroll at Tyler Junior College with Coach Mike Marquis. Amazing coach. Love him. Him and Scott Monarch, who actually is he's the JUCO coach now at Grayson up here in Denison. Just so happens Buzz gets the job as an assistant at Marquette while I'm at Tyler. Coach Crean is the head coach at Marquette at that time. Mm-hmm. Buzz and Coach Crean was able to come down, see me. I was offered a scholarship. That's how I signed. So April 1st, 2009, Coach Crean resigns. 7 days after that, Buzz gets the head coaching job. So he asks me, and is this what you want to do? And I told him straight up, I was like, yo, man, before I come or go anywhere, bro, I was just like, man, my guy on my team, he don't trust nobody. I said, and me personally, with how me and him are boys, I was like, I don't want him to fall into certain things or see certain things that I know that I saw, that I know he didn't know that was even out there. Buzz knew he was and whatnot, and he ended up just offering him a scholarship, and because we all knew we wanted to go to school together, and that was Jimmy. And so from that point thereon, we ended up getting to Marquette, played 3 years together, went to the tournament all 3 years. Ended up getting a Sweet 16 out of it. Going to Sweet 16, we lost to North Carolina, unfortunately. But the experience, all in whole, was amazing. We all got our degrees, so that was, we went up there and we did everything that we were supposed to do. We wanted to win, play ball at the highest level in the Big East, and graduate and get our degrees. And everything after that, in my opinion, it happens how it's supposed to happen.
How do you feel all of that adversity over 18 years? How does that help you now attack problems?
Man, I'd say the adversity in general over that span of time is what helped me really keep pushing forward, because I'd say there isn't a time that goes by, anytime I have an issue that isn't basketball related, I always think about what's some of the worst stuff that you've gone through, or what's some of the worst things that you've had to deal with that you got through, and then you're just like, man, if I know I get through it, I can do anything in life. Yeah. And I think that I saw multiple times some real life-changing situations where a lot of it was just me having the right people in my corner, me being able to trust certain people that I need to, and then the other side of it, a little bit of luck, man. That's real.
I tell everybody success takes a lot of luck. As much as the hard work and that mentality, it just takes a little bit of luck as well. And some people end up getting it, and it catapults them. Some never get that stroke of luck. You recently have left the college coaching ranks. You've launched your own business. I want to talk a little bit about, what you're doing now.
Right now, so I've been close to my first year out of college coaching. And since then, I started my company, Authentic Sports Media Group, LLC. So we're based out of Dallas, and pretty much all we're doing is helping athletes, businesses, sport business, fitness companies with any type of sports media or content that they may need, that athletes may need, and also on the player relations side as far as player development. And we do tap into branding and marketing as well, to help with the NIL side of things, but we're really more attached to the sports media and the player development.
Where do you see college recruiting going with NIL and those types of things?
Man,
you've been in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It started, during your career. I know you're certified and all of that fun stuff.
I've always said if anyone wants to learn about NIL or marketing or learn some of the most messed up situations, I still to this day say that how the Fab Five was used with Nike and that situation and the revenue that they brought in. If you want to ever understand that story and understand why the NIL now is such a big ordeal, you will see what the bicker is for all of this.
So let's, on the player development side, I also want to ask you and talk to you a little bit about how much you feel kids, young athletes should train and practice versus playing games.
A lot of these kids are just working out because their parents is telling them to, and because they don't really want to. I guarantee you, if you ask some of these kids, hey man, when you worked out today by yourself, when you went to the gym, what did you work on? Oh, I got some shots up. That's what most of them say. What is getting shots up?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Sitting around, no, you got to learn how to, if your coach isn't teaching you how to do drills and make you want to do things just as much as when you're not with them, they're not doing, in my opinion, no, it's not even really doing their job. These kids are fucking skilled. These kids are fucking skilled. Some of these kids and how they're naturally just playing now and how they're absorbing just from things that they watch.
Because I personally think I can get as much out of the game. I can coach as much and teach as much during the game. And, you mentioned the word system earlier about coaching, but something I've learned is that, everything's are systems. And if you have systems, you can win. So I think you've been around winning systems pretty much all your life. Do you find that too, that as you get into the videography and the different things you're doing, producing, is it just a system, and once you've got a system, then you can scale it?
Yeah, because for example, I got into the sports media side of it because I start understanding how the video and technology world worked at the college level. So, for example, at the time when I was using sports code and synergy and whatnot, and having to break down film and present it to the teams and present it to the coaches for staff meetings and whatnot, and for scout meetings and whatnot, that flow helps you build your system within what you want to do whenever you decide what your niche is. You start building a niche, a niche for it, just like anything else that you just get good reps at. So when you put those certain systems and how you edit and things like that, and you relate it to sports media to tell someone else's story to help them with their business, it's kind of like you never left it. I was very grateful for a lot of those long hours and those late nights and having to work and grind, and me not, at the time, not understanding my why. Like I said in the beginning, I was trying to figure out like why, like I know I'm in this. Like I got a job, I'm working, I'm getting my master's, I'm working on this, but like I'm directly trying to figure out my why in this, because I know that I just felt like at the time, like I know this isn't all for me.
All right. So I appreciate you joining me today.
Man, thank you for having me, brother.
We'll do it again soon.
Anytime.